All right, hello once again. Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over the Murach version of a tip calculator as shown in our book, Murach's Android Programming, 2nd edition by Joel Murach. In the previous 3 or 4 videos, I built the interface, and now it's time to come in and add the code. All right. Now, one thing that they mentioned in here is they start talking about in the book on page 56 is they talk about the R file. All right, I'm not even sure where that is in here, but I know it's in here someplace. Can't see it right now, but it is in there. Point is, you use that with your it's automatically set when you build a project, and it provides a way for you to, it's kind of a conduit or a go-between what's in your code and what is in the XML right here. You should never modify that file. All right, that's just one thing to realize. So what we're most concerned with in here, I don't think we need to touch our dimensions file anymore. I don't think we need to touch our strings file anymore. But we're now going to look at the main activity.java file. All right. And right now there's not much to it. This is the same thing that's shown on page 57. Now the activity class right now has the onCreate. All right, it's got that particular thing that's going to run. It's kind of like a it's kind of like a constructor. In other words, it's where you typically will do initialization. All right. Now, the author mentions on pages 58 and 59, it says for the previous code in the previous figure to work, you must include the V7 app compat library. But there's a couple of drawbacks to using this. First, it makes the app larger and it makes it dependent on the support library. Second, it makes the code more complex. Because of this, the author mentions on the middle of page 58, you can remove this library from your project whenever you decide you don't need it. So, how do you remove it? Well, they go through a 6-step process on page 59. The author says first, you should go and open up the Gradle build script. So it says to do that, open the project window, expand the Gradle scripts directory, and find the one that says Builder Grade Module app, which is this one right here. And that's what's in the file. Step 2, in the Gradle build script, remove the dependency for the V7 app compat support library. For most projects, you can do that by deleting the following from the end of the file. And that's those dependencies on the end and I'm looking here, and mine does not look the dir libs, that I understand. This one is test espresso, etc. I think it's the line that's right here. All right, so it says we want so we don't want this. So I'm going to delete that. In fact, you know what? Let's do this. Let's try to be smart here. And I'm going to comment it out. And I'm also going to comment that out. All right. Then it says open the class for the activity. Replace the import statement, which is what we have in here right now. So again, instead of replacing it, I'm commenting it out. All right. So we want to replace that with import android.app.activity, which means that we'll also have to change this line. So again, I'm going to comment that line out. And I'm going to come in here and write public class main activity extends activity. And of course we need our, we need our curly. Now, as of right now, as far as I can tell, it doesn't have any errors. Open the res values XML file. The styles one. Then modify the app theme so that it uses the hollow theme as the parent like this. Well, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that line. I'm going to take the first one that we had in here originally and I'm going to comment it out. All right. Now we want style, name equal app theme, parent equal Android, colon, theme, colon, dot. It's way too big, come on. Android theme, hollow, light, dark action bar. So style equal name app theme, parent equal Android colon theme dot hollow dot light dot dark action bar. That's all 6 steps. So I'm going to do a file save all. Probably would be a good idea before I go back and do anything, just to go and run the program again and make sure I didn't break anything. Because I'm about to go in and start adding code. So before I add the code, gets me up to around page 60 in here, but before I add the code, to me at least, it'd be a good idea to go and make sure I didn't break anything. If I try to run it now and it gives me errors or whatever, then I know I did something wrong. I'll have to go back and double check on what I wrote previously. Now, again, if it shows up okay, probably means I have no errors, but since I have no code in here yet, I can't really tell, but I'm looking to make sure I didn't break the interface. Well, this is never a good sign when it goes like this and it just sits there and it says sync completed. So I'm going to try to do a build, clean project, and a build, rebuild project. Now I'm getting this no resource found. That isn't good. It says build failed. That isn't good. Sometimes this stuff does resolve itself when you go and do the build. Sometimes it doesn't. Now if this doesn't change, then I'm going to have to go back and double check. The good news is, as you already saw, I did not remove the stuff that I had in there. I just commented it out. All right. I always cringe when I see stuff like this because I wonder, should I even show this to you? All right. Well, yes, I should, because as they mention, it makes your project, you're making it bigger than it has to be, etc., etc. That's one thing. But the other thing is, again, should you do that, because it's probably not going to affect what you're doing. So let me reverse this. So I'm going to comment that one out that I put in. Uncomment this one. All right. Now I'm getting the error because of the other stuff that's in here. Again, I'm doing this in reverse order, which is probably silly, but I've done that. Now we've got to go back to our code, and where we're extending that, I'm going to comment this out, put that back. Okay. Then our import statement that's up here, we're going to uncomment that one and comment that one out. All right. Then we're going to go back to our Gradle build file, and I'm going to uncomment these. hopefully, that did everything. So a file, save all, build, clean, build, rebuild. Let's do it one more time. Build, clean, build, rebuild. Let's try to run it. Our Nexus 1. Again, if I screwed up, I screwed up. Should come back, ideally at least, and bring us our code back up, or our interface back up. Not a good sign that it's not. Again, it says Gradle sync completed, so this isn't good at all. I don't like this at all. Well, it's one of those things I wish I would never have done this to begin with, but I did it. I'm going to have to live with it now. So I'm going to go in, and hopefully it'll reconcile itself as we go on. If it doesn't, well, you already know I'm kind of hosed here. But that's been done. So that build Gradle was fixed. That was fixed. This, which does not look good, well, that could be the reason that this isn't building. That all looks like it should work. Look at it. It doesn't like this saved instance state. I'm not sure where that's from. So what we did was, in step 1, we opened the Gradle build project. We already saw this. The module app. We've now added these back. We added back this. We added back this. Again, file, save all. Build, clean, build, rebuild. All right, so we removed that. We went for the class for the activity, which was here. Weird, it's giving me an error that it's expecting a semicolon there. Just for the heck of it. I was going to say there's no way that should fix that kind of an error. Change that. Open the class. We've got our import, and that's in there. App compact activity. Extends that. I'm not a happy camper right now. And finally, in our styles file, put the original back. Parent. Yeah. We should be able to now get rid of this. I'm just going to try to get rid of everything that I put in. There's one. Gradle build. That's all back anyway. That's back. Annotations are not allowed here. I'm trying to... Oh, hello. There we go. 2 curly braces. So let's do one more. Build, clean, build, rebuild. Now I'm wondering if what I did was actually correct and I had 2 curlies in there and that's what screwed it up. I'm just going to leave it the way that it is. All right. It's time to start writing some code. So if this works, I'm going to start putting in the code by adding our extra import statements and also adding our references, declaring our variables and getting the references to those widgets. That's all I'll do because this is already getting up there in time. It's already at 16 minutes. Please, come on. There we go. All right. Close the window. All right, so we're back into here. And the first thing we want to do is we want to add a few more import statements, and those are import android.widget.editText and import android.widget.textView. We are adding those because we are going to add variables of each one of those types right here. So declare widget variables. So we will have, I'm going to use the same names that are in the book on page 61. Private, edit text, bill amount, edit text, private, text view, tip text view. You'll notice, whoops, that it's red because the casing matters. All right, so those are done. That's declaring the widget variables. Now, get references. Really, I should do that. Typically, you do that after this code that's already in here. So, right there. Get references to widget variables. I'm going to do the same thing basically 3 times. So bill amount edit text equal. Remember, we always have to cast this because this can return anything, so we have to let it know what it is. Find view by ID, and that's going to be r.id.bill amount edit text. Now, it may not be faster what I'm about to do, but I am still going to put it in 3 times, and this is going to be tip text view. Now remember, I'm going to get an error eventually here because that's of type text view. All right, so this has got to be tip text view. And this will be total text view. Again, this will be a text view. All right, so what I have done in here so far, the code is still, I put in nothing that's going to make this program run. But I have come in here and I have added my 2 import statements. All right, and I need those because if I don't have those, I can't declare these. Okay, so I declare the variables and then I get references to them. We use the find view by ID method to get the references that are declared in the layout. That method accepts an argument for the ID. The R class, again, provides a way to get the ID for any compile resources. It is our conduit or our go-between the XML file and the actual code. Since the find view by ID returns a view object, it has to be cast into the correct type. So I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to do a file, save all, and I am going to just run this one more time to make sure I didn't break it. And in the next video, I will start out with what's on page 63 in the book, and that is coming up with the activity that handles the editor action event. Come on, there we go. All right, so that's it for this particular video.